Well, hello there, and welcome to another beautiful night for an adventure from the couch here on Tommy Travels the Second. And the topic of this evening is gambling. I have talked about the lottery on a previous episode of Tommy Travels the Second, but today I want to talk about it in more of a general sense. Just gambling in general. Whether it's in Vegas doing blackjack or at the local bar doing pull tabs. Want to have a little discussion about that tonight. So if you are brand new to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on a thing. And this should be fun. So I will see you right after this. So I will start things off by saying I am not much of a gambler at all. I've just never gotten into it. I have played the lottery a few times when it gets up to $1 billion. I have gone to Vegas and I've put a little bit of money aside to do some slots or play a little blackjack. Even in the Vegas, I think I've only spent like $40 or so when I go on trips out there. I am just not somebody that's into gambling. And it's not necessarily a religious thing or anything like that. It's just sort of a money thing. I already know that the odds are stacked against me. That's why those casinos keep getting bigger and not smaller. They're not like, hey, we had a big winner. We had to sell off this wing of our casino now. Oops. That never happens. They're always adding a new wing on. And it's because of people that get sucked in to the whole glamour of gambling. And so that's what we want to talk a little bit more about tonight. Now, if you're the type of person that can set aside a few bucks here for gambling, just on a lark for some entertainment, and then walk away, win or lose, then you're probably doing pretty good. There are some people, though, that easily can get sucked in by the lure of gambling. And not just in Vegas, it could even be in the local bar at pull tabs or the local casino or wherever it may be. The draw of gambling is there. And that's what I want to talk about first, is how it sucks people in, and then once they get sucked in, they can wind up losing everything they have. In Vegas, we know they have some tricks to make people who just decided to stay at the hotel to draw them into gambling, like having a very busy carpet pattern on the floor, which draws your eyes up to look at the machines. It can be everything from odors or the air, the quality that they have pumped into the room, make it more conducive to you wanting to gamble. They specially make the sounds of the machine so that when coins clink into the buckets, you can really hear them. They make a very resonating noise. You can just hear people winning across the room. That's the same reason they have all the bells going off and the lights flashing and everything. It's like, look at all these people winning. Maybe I'll just give it a try. Here's a machine that looks good. And that's how it starts. Just a few little psychological tricks, and there you are. Also, they like to give out rewards cards. As soon as you check in, here, try a rewards card. If you gamble, you can earn points, get upgrades, get all these wonderful things just for spending a few bucks at the slot machine, or even going to our buffet. That'll win you some points too. And so then people are part of a rewards program, they're in the casino, and they're now primed up to gamble. Some places will even give you 10 bucks or 20 bucks to gamble with, just to get you started. And they have all sorts of well-documented tricks to get people involved with gambling. And some people, for people like me, like I said, it doesn't do much. It's like, okay, I'll spend that 20 bucks, I can gamble it, walk away from it, and head out to the pool or the show or the dinner or whatever entertainment I'm looking to do. It doesn't work for me, but it does work for a lot of people. But Vegas is Vegas. They know all the tricks. People go out there knowing that's what goes on out there. And a lot of it is just pre-planning. You know what? This is how much I'm going to spend out there, and that's it. And then a lot of folks can do a very good job of sticking to that. But that's because it's Vegas, you know what you're in for. But what about the local bar who doesn't have the fancy carpeting? They don't have the slot machines and all the bells and whistles. They just have a bucket of pull tabs sitting out there. They have tricks too. Like, oh, well, if you lose, the money that you lose is just going to go to help the local baseball team. Those kids, they need uniforms and they need equipment, and you're just, it's basically like giving money to charity is what you're doing. And then they have other tricks as well, like with the buckets. They show how many winners are left in that bucket. And all you have to do is, draw the winning one that says $200 on there. You can spend $1 and win that $200. But you won't. You'll spend $5 or $10 or $15 or $20 to get a good handful of tickets and sit at the bar and rip them open. I don't think anyone even understands what all the cherries and little markings are on there. All they look for is, did it say winner on it or an amount on there that I'm going to win? If not, it's just gone. Next one, gone. You order 20 tickets, they're gone in about 20 seconds if you're like most people who play pull tabs. And then they have no money left from that little investment at all. But they now know there's 20 less tickets in the machine and that winner is still in there. So they now have a better chance of winning that $200. There might be $2 or $3 $200 left in there. And if there is, then there's even more incentive to keep playing. And so let's just throw in another $20 and see if we can get it. And draw it out of that little bottom corner out there, because I think that's where one of them is sitting. And sure enough, go through another $20 and it's still gone. But guess what? 20 more tickets out of there. You've got even better odds of winning this time around. And that is a cycle that gets people into a lot of trouble. And by the time they do finally win that $200, they realize that they've just spent $160 to win it. They really only are up $40, of which they have to tip the person who dealt them the winning ticket, $10 or $20 or whatever. So now they're stuck with about $20, $30 of winnings for all that time that they spent. And what do they do with it? They put it right back into another box. That is a problem. That's where people get sucked in, and then they wind up at the bar every night playing pull tabs. And whether you're in Vegas at the casinos or at your local casino, at your local bar, wherever it is that you're doing gambling, and whether you're playing blackjack or craps or poker with your buddies, doesn't matter. The worst thing that could happen is that you win right away from the very beginning of your little poker career or your little gambling extravaganza. If you win, it does a psychological thing to you where it makes you kind of feel like, hey, that was easy. And look how fun that is. I just had to put in $20 and now I'm up this far. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm working. This is like going to the cash machine. It's very exciting. And so it makes you want to do it some more. But then as you do it some more, guess what? You start to lose. And then you break even. And then you're under. And then it's like, well, maybe if I just do $20 more, I can have the same success that I had when I started. And of course, you do not. And then people get into a position where they're just gambling money to win money back that they've already lost. And once people start getting into that kind of a pattern, it's a big problem. And it can take a long time to get out of it, if at all. And that's what's really sad, is there are people that lose everything just because they started in a situation like that. And now I just want to talk about a few things to keep in mind if gambling is in your near future. First of all, realize that they are trying to suck you in. The things like the clinking trays and the busy carpeting, all of those funny things that they do, they seem funny just talking about them in conversation, but they actually work. They do them for a reason. But if you're aware of them, it'll help you avoid from getting sucked into it. You'll be able to say, oh, look at that. See, yep, I get what they're trying to do there. It's not going to work on me. Also, if gambling is in your near future, just go ahead and set a budget for it. You know, how much is it that you can comfortably say, hey, I went out and had a good night, I lost this much. Is it $20? Is it $40? Whatever it is, figure out this is how much I can spend towards gambling, and then that's it. It's time to walk away. Even if I lost it in about 2.3 seconds, it's time to go once I lose that. And then also have a max that you're willing to win. Let's say if it's $40 that you want to spend and you win $80, then it's time to say, hey, I doubled my money, and quit then too. There's a lot of times when people win a lot of money right at the beginning, they wind up down because it's so exciting and they didn't have a top limit there that they're willing to walk away from, and all of a sudden they've got nothing or they're in the hole. And if you are going to a casino with a bunch of friends and you know you're going to be there for a while, so you can't just walk out the door once you've lost the amount that you've budgeted to lose for the evening, well, before you even go, have a backup plan for what you're going to do in the case that you lose out your money really quickly. There are a lot of things you can do. There's bars and restaurants, buffets, there's shows that you can go to. You can hang out with one of your buddies and watch them lose money if you want. There's different options that you can do. And so just have a plan for what else that you would want to do in case you run out of money quickly. And then once you do run out, you can say, okay, well now it's time to go do this, rather than, oh, now what do I do? That's a big problem, because sometimes the thing you do is go to the cash machine, which you definitely want to avoid. Well, this has been another successful adventure from the couch here tonight on Tommy Travels II. We've been talking about gambling tonight, the things that draw you in and ways to avoid those things. And if there are some tips that I didn't mention that you think would be helpful, go ahead and leave a comment below. And stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I don't know if I'm going to do that tomorrow morning or evening, but it's going to be about my horse racing gambling story. I wanted to include it in tonight's video, but it would then be entirely too long. So it's going to have to wait for tomorrow, but it'll be well worth the wait. It's pretty entertaining. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit like on my YouTube channel. While you're at it, go ahead and hit subscribe and the little bell notification next to it so you can be the first to know when a new adventure comes out. And thank you so much for the support that you've given me so far. And until next time, I hope to catch you on the flip side.